Hey, podcaster, how freaking excited are you? Did you see that the name got a little bit of a change? So we are slowly shifting from Cure for Pod Fade to Your Podcast is Someone's Life Raft. And before you click away and say, this is no longer for me, know that we're still going to be talking strategy, but we're going to really be leaning into the power of storytelling and how when we focus on growing our audience and speaking our truth and our stories, that's where our businesses actually grow. That's where the profits actually lie. So you'll be getting strategy, but you're also going to be getting the truth about what podcasting can do for you as a human and for your business. So are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to the Cure for Pod Fade. I am so excited you found your way here because that means you know how powerful podcasting can be. You are ready to build a legacy with your unique story, your message, and your offer, but you're getting a little overwhelmed. You're feeling frustrated, you're feeling stuck. You just don't know how to grow your show, find a new audience, and make some money. Podcasting can be the ticket to the life of your dreams, and it doesn't have to be as hard as you think. We're talking about all the ingredients it takes to be a successful, profitable podcaster without that icky overwhelm, because you are too magical to join the 85% plus club that pod fades away. I'm your host, Jen Dragonette, so let's make podcasting easy peasy lemon squeezy. Here's the cool thing about podcasting and about being your own business owner is that we are allowed to lean in and as we grow, pivot. When you work for someone else, when you do things for other people, guess what? You're stuck in a box. But we aren't stuck in a box here. And this last weekend, I was chosen to speak at a live event. This was my first live event, and I had less than 24 hours to prep for this conversation. And the really fun thing is I went to a group of more heart-centered spiritual entrepreneurs. So I was up right after a somatic in-body experience. So if you've ever had one of those, what happens is you're basically like meditation. You're getting in your body, you're getting all comfortable, you're allowing things to bubble up, you're allowing yourself to feel all the feels. And it can get heavy, it can get bright, you can get clear, but at the end of it, you're pretty much in a relaxed state. And then here comes Jen to the stage, like, let's talk podcast strategy. In that moment, I took a breath, I read the room, and I realized what people needed to know. And this is actually part of the cure for pod fade, is actually sharing your story. Because sharing your story is what allows you to connect to another person. So if you are a current podcaster or thinking of starting a podcast, you got to listen up here. So what happened is I was told to come and present about having a podcast for your business. And I was ready to put that hat on of sharing, here's the facts, here's what softwares to use, here's how to use AI to grow your business. And I read the room. The room says, we're not quite there yet. There was one podcaster in the room. There was a few that were maybe interested in dabbling in podcasts, but the majority of the room wasn't into it, or so they thought. So as I stood up there, I started to share my story of podcasting and why I continued to do it even when it got hard. And I see you over there. You are struggling. You're at 40, 50, maybe 100 downloads an episode, and your heart hurts. You're like, I'm not seeing growth. I'm putting out my offers. I'm doing this. And I'm going to keep referring you back to Anthony's episode because that was kind of that pivotal moment for me where I was like, okay, I wrote the book, Your Story is Someone's Life Raft. I had this beautiful conversation with Anthony about people first and then profit follows. And I was like, oh shit, I've been doing this wrong. This doesn't mean I don't want to make money. This doesn't mean that you're not going to make money from your podcast. But here's the thing. You've got to start with those foundational pieces of your business. One of your foundations is your story. How did you get to where you are? Are you teaching something or inspiring in a way of something that you've moved through? Remember back to those days when you were in square one, when somebody threw you that life raft over, when you were drowning in your sorrows and your muck and your mess? That's where we need to go back to. We need to start sharing from those places so that we can give others that piece of hope of like, hey, I did this. I'm not that special. You can do it too. I know that I'm not that special. That's a hard one pill to swallow, but it's true. Other people have gone through what you've gone through, maybe in a little bit different order, a different fashion, but that is the core truth. So as we're building a business, we've been building businesses on quicksand. And how I mean that for quicksand, same with your podcast, it's built on quicksand. You are focused on your offer and your product. You're focused on making money. But how do we make money? Most of the time, it's connecting with people. So every time that I put down my hat of make money first and I start actually connecting with people, surprisingly, I look back every single time I do that. The back end, the business part, the bank account grows too. My heart gets filled with talking to other people, and my bank account gets filled because now I've built that know, like, and trust. And we've heard so much about know, like, and trust. So as we're going into this transition from the cure to pod fade, as we're going through this transition from the cure for pod fade to your story is someone's life raft, I want to invite you to understand that this is the same style podcast, because the ultimate cure for pod fade is sharing that story, is sharing that piece of wisdom that you have. So over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about how to use your story to grow your podcast, build your business, and as a side effect, grow that bank account, because the more impact you want to make requires more income. More income, more impact. The deeper you can connect with people means more income, meaning you get to make a bigger impact. So if you're here for it, I look forward to seeing you next week. Go out and make today amazing, because you are beautiful, wonderful, and worthy, and I'll see you soon.